Hello folks, I hope that you're having just a great day today and keeping yourself safe in our modern COVID world. Today I'll take a look at the sequel to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. We're going to be looking at the restaurant at the end of the universe. And in my comments I'm actually going to tell you why I think this is actually a better novel than The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Although some people may disagree with me, that's fine. I'll give you my reasons for why I actually think it's better, both in my review thereof. But Douglas Adams, as we've looked at before, was a famous writer for Doctor Who scripts, screenplays, and that sort of thing. And he had one of the biggest hits that you could possibly have as a writer with his 1979 novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then he wrote two sequels pretty quickly, and he had summed up his trilogy. I'm not working on reviewing the entire trilogy. I'll be doing I did this 2 weeks ago. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be doing Life, the Universe, and Everything. So we'll be doing that. And my goal is to also finish the series. There are two more books in this trilogy, and I haven't read them, but I've bought them. And so my goal is to read them too, although I gotta be honest with you, something might pull me. Or I may decide, it may start and be like two through three chapters and be like, nope, and put it down. So I reserve the right to say I'm not going to finish the series of 5, the trilogy of 5. But I do want to finish out the first trilogy, this one and then the next one in 2 weeks' time. So that gives you time to read the rest of the series if you're interested in it. And I have a link to you below for the entire series if that's something you're interested in. But let's take a look at the restaurant at the end of the universe. It's set in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It picks up where the last book left off. It's an intended sequel, so it has intended things that are happening. Now, Douglas Adams has, and I'll go ahead and give you kind of my review of it right now because it's necessary for the beginning of this novel. In the first book had a lot of jokes, a lot of world building that was intended to create jokes. So when the first book did its world building, it would do it with the intention of making you laugh as a reader. And examples of that are the bowl of petunias, the sperm whale that the two missiles become from the planet that they arrive at, and its automatic defense system, stuff like that, right? So the jokes there, the world building there is intended to be funny, it's intended to be comedy, it's intended to be light, and to have you blow through it. But now Douglas Adams has understood that the art of world building, not necessarily for the laughs, ha-ha, but rather for developing the world. The characters, the plot. For example, one of my critiques of the first novel is that Arthur Dent hasn't changed. Our main character hasn't changed over the course of the novel. He's the same character at the beginning of the novel, like 3 or 4 chapters in, as he is at the end of the novel. But in this novel, you begin to see him change as a character from the first part to the last part. His development and the world building is part of that. Also, you're going to have things that happen in this novel. The first novel is kind of just an exploration of the universe, if you will. A cat out of water, as Arthur Dent's planet Earth has been destroyed, and now we're following him through the universe, and we're learning about the universe at the same time as he is, in a traditional sort of fish out of water sort of scenario. And then in this book now we're moving forward, there's plot that happens, there's battles that happen, there are escapes that happen, there are assassin scenes that happen on the former president of the universe, Zaphod Beeblebrox. There are a lot of things that happen in this novel that propel the plot of the novel. So the world building here helps to build the structure of the novel. There are jokes in it too, but it's not the classic number of jokes that the first book had. So if you prefer the first book, that might be because you just prefer the jokes. It's a very funny novel. You prefer the world building, you prefer the jokes and so forth. But this one I think is a stronger story than the first novel is. Because character development, because plots, because of development of the world is something that helps to underline the things that are happening. It's still funny, but it's not as it doesn't have a joke a minute or anything like that, right? So the world building here underlines what's happening in the plot, which is, I think, a valuable way of writing a novel. So I actually think that this is a stronger novel than the first novel is. Even though the first novel was the big hit with all the, TV shows, all of the other things that were happening, that sort of thing, right? But this one, I think, has some fun stuff happening in it too, funny stuff from the first line. But again, it's not as funny as the first novel is, but it sacrifices comedy for a better novel. But anyway, so this is going to open up with a space battle that's going to be happening. You're going to have that very quickly. You're going to have them flee. You're going to have them go to the planet where the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is made. They're going to go into the offices of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You'll find out that Zaphod Beeblebrox is being chased by bad guys, assassin robots, that are out there trying to kill him. So he's going to try to escape from them, and tried a couple of different ways of escaping from them in order to survive. During the first book, you realized that he had been an older version of Zaphod Beeblebrox, had edited his brain so he wouldn't remember, but he had set out to meet the man who runs the universe. The president of the universe is just a sort of symbol, but isn't the person who actually runs the universe. And only 6 people in the universe know who that person actually is. And his goal is to find it. So he has stolen the heart of gold in the first novel, which with its improbability drive, so it can crack the defenses of the planet and help them to find the planet where the person who runs the universe is. And you'll actually meet that person in this novel. But he's being attacked by people who are trying to keep him from doing just that. All right, and so that's going to be the main basic plot of this novel, is basically around Zaphod Beeblebrox not liking the current version of Zaphod Beeblebrox, not liking the manipulation of the old Zaphod Beeblebrox or that journey, because he's changed himself, but also trying to find who the person is who runs the universe in order to move on, or because some of his erstwhile allies want to do it. So that thus is the central sort of crux of this story. You'll also learn more about Earth. You'll learn more about the destruction thereof in the first novel. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun things happening in it. But there you are. I'll go ahead and end my review of the Restaurant at the End of the Universe for you. Have you read it? What did you think about it? Please let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my thoughts on it or my take on it in any major ways. Which novel did you think was better, the first one or the second one? I'm happy to talk with you about that further. I want to, if you enjoyed this review, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be so many more of these to follow in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And finally, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and watching my video. We all have so many things happening in our lives, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks again, and have a great day.